Hi, everyone. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Lauren.
And today we're here with another episode of Unsolicited Advice from your Career Center. And it's really interesting today because
we set up like a camera to actually have like the video of this. Like we always just do the audio. Actually, maybe you might not even see it. If the video's bad, then you'll just have this audio clip and you won't know what we're talking about. But today we're really excited because we have our new social media intern with us. Social media fellow with us today.
Angelica.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here, but also super nervous now that the camera is on.
Yeah, it's kind of like a circle back moment because when I first started the podcast with Susie, we wanted to do the visual aspect, but then it really wasn't working out. Like our tripod with our phone camera kept falling.
Oh yeah, this podcast really evolved before because when you guys started it, we were literally just plugging in mics to our phones, and then now we have this setup which we're learning to use. I think we got it last semester, but it's definitely a lot more. How do I say put together? Yeah, so that's gonna be fun. Do you want to go into a little intro about yourself and maybe like your major, year, and yeah.
Yeah, okay. So again, I'm Angelica Fajardo. I'm in my last year, my last semester. So I will be graduating in May, thankfully. I'm majoring in political science with a minor in theater, but I didn't start off as a poli-sci major. I actually started off as a STEM major, a declared civil engineering major.
Oh, wow.
Tried it out for 2 years. Was like, that's not for me. And then I was like, oh, I still like STEM. So I started studying atmospheric sciences like I told you prior to the podcast.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And then I was like, no, I like it here. I love it here. It was, the SOS department was super small, at least for the major that I was in. And I really liked how intimate it was. The advisors were super sweet. But ultimately I was like, it's still not like completely there. So I tried my hand at social sciences. And luckily, I was already taking poli-sci classes as electives. And so it didn't really mess up my graduation date from at that time. And then I picked up on my theater minor to get back into performing arts, just to kind of reconnect with something that I really enjoyed. So it's been really fun. This past year has been really fun with the two of them. Hobbies I see on your laptop there.
Oh, before you start, I was going to say it's really interesting that you're like, you said theater, right?
Yeah.
Theater and then also political science, because they're just so different. Like one is so creative and the other one is so STEMmy.
Yeah.
And also all the majors that you tried before or like tested, like those are like the intense like STEM majors. Like I think if I was looking for like a STEM major to go in, I don't think those would be my first choice, but like that's amazing that you're going into that. And I love, like, I really want to hear about that because, oh yeah, also this is my first time meeting her because we always have different schedules and it never aligned, but it's really interesting. So I get to know you for the first time with everyone else. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's really cool to finally like have an overlap in our schedule.
Yeah.
And like with your reaction to my major and minor, you know, that's something that I see a lot now when I introduce myself with those two subjects. And a lot of people tend to ask me like, oh, like why do you pair those two together? And of course, you know, like I said, I really enjoy performing arts. You know, it was something that I did growing up. And so just wanting to reconnect with that. And then having my hand at like poli-sci, I'm kind of at a point where I'm starting to tell people I'd really like to go into like arts advocacy work. I have a big interest in hopefully working with like youth in my community and hoping to like rebuild that, you know, performing arts scenery there. They do have something pre-existing, but of course, like I would want to contribute something later on, like further down in my career.
I love that. I love that you're able to combine both of your majors together and like really, wow, I really love that because it's so different and like there's so many ways to combine like all the majors and I think that's like a really good example of it.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry, going back to it, your majors.
Oh, yes. What else should I mention about that?
Like some maybe major. Oh, sorry. Did I say majors?
Yeah.
I meant to say hobbies.
Hobbies.
Going back to
my
hobbies.
hobbies.
Yeah, sorry. I was like, why were we confused? Like, I'm so sorry. I'm like all over the place.
No, you're fine. For hobbies, so if I guess in like my free time, not right now, but in my free time, I've been like self auditioning. I'm sorry, like self tape auditioning for several of like the ACM like student films.
Yeah.
So I am in a few, but
I love that. We should drop links in the
oh my
bottom
god.
so check it out.
No, but like the ACM students here, at least the ones that I worked with were like super sweet, super accommodating, and I did my first student film. I think it was maybe only 2 semesters ago, so maybe like a year ago. So that's I tend to gravitate like my free time towards like auditioning for those projects because it's just a really great way to like network and also kind of build like my own skill set in acting and just being comfortable in my body and stuff like that. So it's been really fun like progressing in that area. Other than that, I tend to write songs. I don't have anything new.
Oh my goodness. Wait, what?
I write songs, but I don't have anything new. It's kind of been a while since I've actually like sat down and wrote a full project. I did record one song. I've been telling myself to re-record it because the audio was so jank.
But oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I would love to listen to something that you make.
Maybe one day when like I kind of reconnect with that part of me again. Yeah. For the most part, like as of recently, it's been mostly acting, versus like my not contribution, but like my time has gravitated more towards acting only because it's a little more, I don't want to say convenient, but it's here. Like the ACM students are here. Like they have their flyers out. They always ask for like people to audition. So it's something that has structure that I can follow and that I know like how much time I'll be able to give to that rather than like when I write music and sometimes I don't feel like writing a whole piece all at one time or like I have them in like little stanzas or whatever and it just won't work out. So
I feel like
wah.
I would see you in like a musical, right? Because it's combining like you do like music and like acting, and musicals are my favorite kind of like I love watching musicals and listening to it, like literally just watching or like hearing people when they're singing. I'm like, oh my god, it's so I just love that. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Did you watch Hamilton?
Yes, I went to see it because they had the student tickets. It was like $25, I think. $25, yeah, if you had your student ID. But I did watch it on like Disney Plus, and it was the exact same. Actually, I don't know why I was thinking it was gonna be like different, but it was like the exact same. But I liked it. It was just long. I guess I'm not a history person, but I really liked Wicked. I saw that like 3 times.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
Weren't you obsessed with The Greatest Showman when it came out too?
Yes, I actually just rewatched that too because I have Disney Plus. So like when I'm working, because I do some remote work, then I love to like listen to like music. I mean, I like to watch movies, but like musicals are just fun, and like it's just like wow, like musicals really get me like emotion going. It's like I feel so happy for them, or like it's just really nice to listen to. I'm so excited. Wait, so do you guys have like you guys? Sorry, you said that you guys do like plays and you're auditioning for that kind of stuff, or?
Oh, so most of the acting that I've done were for like on-camera stuff.
Oh, like
yeah,
okay.
I personally haven't acted like on stage here. It's funny because like I tell like my other like theater friends, like for me, if I were to act in something, I would probably prefer it to be on camera versus like in person at this point because like the live performances, I actually like being in the background for that like tech crew.
You're good at tech.
Ooh.
I was just because I don't think like Ashley, like I don't want to say Ashley's bad, but like I'm definitely not good at tech. So like this is like kind of hard.
Yeah, no, the setup is like new to me too. But when I say like tech crew, because at least as theater, oh my gosh, I'm like stumbling over my words. Theater majors and minors, we are required a certain amount of time in the theater. At least for theater minors, we are only to do, I think, 2 productions. And so I just finished my second one last month, thankfully. Oh my gosh. But you can choose what position you want to do I think you can work like in-house, like helping usher people. You can be part of the tech crew, so you can do like light, sound, backstage crew and props. And then there's like costume and design. So there's like different sections that you can sign up for. But for me, I signed up for stage management. And so my roles in both of the productions that I worked on were to basically press like this magical space bar on like the little keyboard so that I could transition over to the next light cue. So like there's a little bit of knowledge there on how to like check the lights, like how to like put up the light fixtures and stuff like that. So I really enjoy the hands-on stuff of like the live performances, which is why I tend to like gravitate towards being like backstage crew, because I love being part of the experience that you can put out. Like it really is fun being like the actor, of course. Like I think that's a lot of people's, you know, motivation when they pursue theater, but I really do love like the ambiance, the experience of like being in person. So I really love giving that to audiences. But yeah, like on camera stuff is like more of my niche, I guess, as an actor, actress, in my free time. But yeah, other than that, like a lot of my time now this semester has been me at work, which isn't a bad thing. I love my job. I recently got hired at the Kokua office for disabilities and accommodations, and the people there are
this building also.
Yeah, it's in the basement.
Okay,
so, and it's really nice. The staff members are super kind, super accommodating. The coworkers that I've met so far, it's so funny. Most of us are new, so like you and me and like us, we're still getting to know each other. I'm still getting to know the people that I work with downstairs, but so far it's been a really interesting experience. I never really thought of myself as like an office girly, because, like,
but here you are.
Yeah, because I was always like someone who's like, I love being hands on and like setting things up. Like I love events and you know all of that. And then now I'm like here in the office, and I'm not complaining at all. Like the work hasn't been strenuous, you know, like it's pretty like straightforward, you know, and like coming here to this office, you know, at least there's that creative freedom, like that outlet to just kind of like explore the different options and why we're doing this on video now. So yeah,
I think that's really I think it's interesting, like going back to how you were saying that you like to be in the backstage, kind of like hands-on and those kind of things. Like, I feel like I understand like why like kind of you do political science too, because you're still in that ambiance of like getting into that community and like really being a part of it. But then I feel like you're also like tackling like the big part, like the technical parts of it, which is really cool. Oh, my back. Sorry.
Moving on to like the career center.
yeah.
Oh, sorry. Can you go closer? Or like, I just can't hear it. Yeah.
So moving on back to the career center, how did you find out about this position?
So I was actively looking for a job, and I think I found it because I check my emails like routinely. And so I guess I must have subscribed or something to like one of the email blasts that the Monroe Career Center has. I'm not too sure how, but
I think we just put it to, maybe it was through theater that you got it. We put to certain majors.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't think political science majors would have gotten it.
I think we did like political science is under a broader college, right?
Yeah.
And I think we sent it to that college.
Oh, okay.
What college?
Oh, okay. That would be like College of Arts and Science.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then that's probably how I found it, because I saw the announcement, and then as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, that's kind of like in like the realm of like what I've had, you know, worked on before, like in my past work experiences. And I thought like, what a fun way to kind of like end my undergraduate experience. And in the past, like my experiences with the Career Center have been, you know.
Oh, you've come here before? Oh.
I have, because the tea is I was like struggling with my grades like early on in my undergraduate experience, and so it like kind of affected a little bit of like my work eligibility. I think like some flag just like flew up, and so I came here, but I forgot who helped me, but they were so nice, and they were like, yeah, you can keep your job. I'm like, oh, thank you. I need to pay these bills. But about like how I found this position at the Career Center, yeah, I saw the announcement, and I thought like, yeah, that's super fun. Like, why wouldn't I try? And they're gonna give me like the stipend, like.
Oh yeah, because it's a fellowship. Yeah. So
Yeah, and so I was just really excited to do something creative again. I mean, not to say that like the position I had before this wasn't.
I was going to ask, you said you had previous similar social media experience. Do you want to talk about maybe what positions or what you were doing before?
Yeah. My first job on campus was with the Campus Center Board Activities Council. I started off as their event coordinator, and even then, like, there was some like essence of working with our graphic designers because we had to put out like flyers and banners and like our online graphics and stuff like that. So there was that aspect, and then it came to a point where I had a really big interest in like rebranding the council. I had the privilege of being selected to go to a conference, within the States. It was like an all expense paid trip by the council. Yeah, it was a pretty big deal for me.
What was it for?
It was the acronym was NACA, and I think that's National Association for Campus Activities. And so I got to meet a bunch of like other students from across from across the nation. And these were all like representatives from their activities councils. And the conference also gave more insight to like brand management, like marketing methods, and all in the scope of like university and like the audience of the university. And I think that maybe gave me the jump start to actually think about like, oh, like what can I do for the council, especially because like in the midst of the pandemic, we had to switch over completely to like virtual events. And at that time, I moved up as the executive assistant for the council, and that was more like marketing and communications, which is something that I did not have experience in at all. But I really was looking at the position because prior to the previous EA, I kind of took the initiative to redo the website for them, just kind of as like a little project on top of like event planning and stuff. And then afterwards, I was like, no, I really like this. Like, I really like making things pretty.
I love that. I think it's satisfying.
Yeah, it really is so nice to like see how things progress. And I can't say that like my earlier graphics were nice. They were pretty bland. But like as you progress and you kind of see like where your growth is, and as you understand like your job position more and like the personality of your department, like I feel like that really shows through.
Yeah.
And so I didn't get to do too much of that when I started working as an ACE peer mentor.
Oh my gosh! Wait, were you this past semester or the fall?
I worked for them last semester.
I had applied for the position because my friend was an ACE peer mentor and she loved it, and I love like teaching, or like because it was like the teaching, right? You like a student, but with my schedule, I just couldn't take the position. But
I think that's what you mentioned to me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but I really wanted to do it because even she was talking about like the friends you meet and like the people in there are just amazing, and I was really bummed that I couldn't fit it into my schedule, but that's so cool to hear that you did it.
Yeah, it was a really interesting experience. I'd say it was super humbling to be a part of that cohort and to be able to be a mentor for like those students.
Oh yeah, actually, do you want to explain it a little, because maybe people don't know what an ACE mentor is?
Oh yeah, sure. So ACE stands for Access to College Excellence, and it's under the first year programs. So the demographic is first year students. But it's not excluding anyone from anyone who's a sophomore and above, because you can take it as a WI. But as a peer mentor, your responsibility is to basically lead 1 to 2 clusters of your own. For me, because I was the last peer mentor hired, there was one cluster that was left over, and so I took it. Clusters are typically at a capacity of like 15 students, so it's nothing too overwhelming unless you maybe have the 2 clusters, and then it's a little bit more. But as a peer mentor, you're obviously there to be a guide for the students, a reference. So a lot of the curriculum was being accessible to them in the sense of like having the one-to-one meetings, making sure that they were kind of like on it for their first semester, being able to kind of navigate through their first semester. So if they had any questions about registration or how to talk to the professors or questions about your own class with them, you know, it was a lot of back and forth communication and being able to open up your schedule. Even with 15 students, I'd say a lot of the holes in my schedules were filled with meeting them and answering their questions, which isn't something that I'm complaining about, because at the end of the day, like, I would have wanted that kind of support in my first year. But yeah, I think going back to what I was saying, like having the creative aspect, like I really try to still exercise that as a peer mentor, like through the presentations that I've made for them or through the activities that I have for them, sure. Yeah, and I like told my friends if it was a year-long program, I probably would have stayed to be there for my students. But
do you still keep in touch with any of them?
I do, actually. I sent them a message earlier this semester to be like, hey, good luck, you know.
That is so cute. I would love, like, my heart would melt if I got that from, like, a mentor. I'd be like, oh, she's so sweet. Actually, one of my professors, the next semester, they're like, have a good first day of classes. And it's like, we didn't have him anymore, but, like, I was like, oh, he's so thoughtful.
Oh, that is so sweet.
My heart.
I'm kind of curious, how did those, like, classes with your mentees work?
Oh, what do you mean?
I think she's asking, like, because you taught a class, right? Like one section. She's asking what you teach in it.
Oh, like what is the nature of
the content
class? Oh, yeah, of course. So the course itself is called UNIV 110, otherwise a university experience. I
was like, UNIV. I was like so slow to put it. Sorry.
But yeah, in university experience, since our demographic is towards first year students, and, or at least in my case, I had like one sophomore. So students who are in the lower division of their coursework, I need to think about what the syllabus was about again. So the structure of the course is that every week they have like a textbook assignment. They read through they read through this textbook, and it's almost like a manual for them, like how to navigate through different aspects, balancing like your work life and stuff like that. On top of that, the other curriculum was to go to Manoa Career Fair and then kind of opening themselves up to speaking to employers, kind of introducing themselves like to that realm kind of early on. Unfortunately, in my case, my students couldn't make it to the career fair because their schedules coincided with the hours that it was last semester. But I did advise them to either come here to look over the resume or to contact someone within their field, to contact someone within their preferred field so that they're able to gauge a little bit more about what kind of career they might have later on. And so I've had students coming up to me saying like, hey, I met with so-and-so and this is kind of what I learned. I had them do like that whole reflection and everything. And it was actually really nice because one of them ended up coming up to me saying they met with a representative from some department and they actually ended up majoring within that department. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, okay, new trajectory. This is really nice. Yeah. But the other part, again, are those individual meetings, the one-to-one meetings. So making sure that our students are doing well mentally, physically. Like if they're struggling in our class, we can talk about plans on how to move forward together. But also we do get notifications if students are maybe at risk in their other classes. And so we also provide support in that way, to where it's like, hey, like I received this notification from a professor that you might be at risk. So do you want to talk about how we could balance what's going on at home and what's happening at school or what's happening in your job? And, we go over those kinds of things and basically having like open lines of communication just to make sure that everyone's kind of starting off on a good foot. But yeah.
I love that. I think that it's so nice to have a connection up in the school, especially like if you don't have the help and resources. Like I was really lucky to know upperclassmen, I don't know how you call them, older people who went through the university, and they were really able to help me. But I think you were like such an important person to them. You know what I mean? Like you can be that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because like I you know, being a ACE peer mentor, it was kind of like a full circle moment for me because the summer after I graduated, I joined like this transitional program. It's called Hawai'i Undergraduate Initiative. Also in this building.
Hawai'i.
Yeah, Hui.
Okay.
Like OMSS Hui. I joined them, and so through them I was able to get like college credit over the summer and be able to like network within the 2018 cohort and have like friendships actually come out of it. And so it's like really nice when you can establish some sort of foundation earlier on, so that moving forward your college experience isn't so, you know, lonely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then for people who are interested, I think you have to apply in the spring, but it's for upperclassmen, and like they're looking for people every year to be like ACE peer mentors. And it is paid, right? Yeah. It is paid. So, I mean, I think it's a fulfilling and rewarding kind of program, job. But yeah, if you're interested in that, like, I love that you were able to share on that because that sounds like a really good program.
It really is. And I think it might be one of the biggest reasons why I'm like considering like youth work.
Oh yeah.
Because I finally had the experience to like have that like one-to-one experience,
I
like
love
one-to-one like relationship building with, you know, like that kind of demographic, which like I'm really, really grateful for.
Yeah. I love that. I love hearing how everything fits together. And I'm so sorry. I actually have class in like 5 minutes, but I have to go. But I'll let you guys close out. I mean, finish. I'll let you guys continue your interview. And it was really nice to talk with you and like really get to know you. Okay, bye.